All right, let's try this again. The church, James River Church in Springfield, Missouri, with their Stronger Men's Conference, had a big fiasco the other day where they brought in a man who has a sordid past of doing things like being a male stripper, and they used him to perform a crazy act at the beginning of the conference, you know, to get all those men inspired to live for Jesus. Yeah, and Mark Driscoll rebuked it, and then he got kicked off the stage, but then Mark Driscoll recanted his rebuke. A lot going on here, but I want to give you a piece of this. I want to give you a piece of this that goes right along with our Third Adam series, and you're not going to believe this. Don't go away. All right, guys, go ahead and smite that like button, and the lizard people will not get you. This is very serious. Do not mess around with that. No, we're just being funny, but help support this channel by doing your part, by hitting the like button, and we will appreciate that. So this is, man, a lot of people have talked about this, and this conference had this guy get up and take his shirt off in front of all these men and do some provocative thing and lick a sword and then sticks the sword down his throat and then climb up a pole. And this guy's like some stunt actor on Britain's Got Talent and all kinds of stuff like that. And he drops down and does an inverted upside down Jesus on the cross. Maybe some weird stuff going on there with that. I'll let you decide. Let your imagination run wild there. But as he's laying there doing the upside-down crucifix, the crowd is going wild in front of him. And Mark Driscoll got up and called this out. And a lot of people are applauding him. But this one guy that they brought in to this church, and by the way, there's so much fun stuff going on. Look at that, John Lindell's Stronger Men's Conference today. There's so much here. But let's just be honest, guys. This whole thing was a fiasco. It crossed every biblical line. It crossed moral lines. It crossed just like it was like pretty wild. And so a lot of people have asked, you know, who is this guy? Why did they bring him in? Which I think is a great question. And why even have an event like that at a men's conference? It doesn't make any sense. So I went and looked it up, and the guy's name is Alex Magala, and he's like a stunt performer. And if you go through his internet history, you'll find this guy is should not be teaching Sunday school class, even if you go through his Instagram, which I will not here in this video for your sake. This guy is got a lot of very suggestive material on his page. He's actually a very talented jiu-jitsu guy. He works with what's his name? He's right here on the page. I forget. It's Johnny Bravo and Eddie Bravo. I'm sorry, not Johnny Bravo. Works with him, and so that's kind of a big deal for those of you guys who know how to roll and stuff like that. But this guy, you kind of look at who he is, and there's no evidence this guy's a Christian. Matter of fact, there's a lot of evidence that this guy was doing all kinds of terrible things and still is doing terrible things in his life. There's a 2016 Daily Mail UK article talking about how this man was one of the most popular gay strippers in gay clubs years ago. And so, you know, when all this evidence is piling up about this guy, why would you have this guy in a men's conference to try to inspire men to live for Jesus? But, you know, whatever there. So, and then Mark Driscoll, he got up and he rebuked the whole thing, and then he backed back down to, you know, he apologized for what he said. And a lot of people are saying that this was a publicity stunt to try to promote his new book. I don't recommend that you buy Mark Driscoll books. I don't recommend Mark Driscoll. I think he's very problematic, questionable in his character. And this would be like, you know, the equivalent of Greg Locke calling that out. Well, I'm not going to go celebrate Greg Locke and go, you know, go buy his books. But a lot of people have talked about this and try to, you know, examine this. But here's what I want you to see, okay? This is a NAR church. This is a New Apostolic Reformation church. I'm going to put them in that category for you just so you can see what they are. And this is Pastor John and Debbie Lindell. They got women preachers there. They do all kinds of, you know, there's just a lot going on with this church. They've got a Stronger Men's Conference coming up in 2025. I'll just show you the lineup of that. And they have Lou Giglio coming to speak at that conference next year. Now, if you've seen Third Adam 2, you will know that Lou Giglio was one of the main speakers. You know, he actually runs the Passion Conference there in Atlanta, and he actually is one of the guys who actually kissed the Pope's cheek in that documentary. We show that for you guys. But I want you guys to see this, the doctrine of this church, and we're going to go down the rabbit hole of their doctrinal statement. And unlike many churches, they actually have somewhat comprehensive doctrinal statement on their page. Here's what I want you to see. They talk about the baptism of the Holy Spirit and the initial physical evidence of the baptism of the Holy Spirit. The baptism of believers in the Holy Spirit is witnessed by the initial physical sign of speaking with other tongues as the Spirit of God gives them utterance. The speaking in tongues in this instant is the same as essence as the gift of tongues, but different in purpose and use. So I want you to know that's where their doctrinal slant is that they practice this stuff. And they believe in, divine healing, so I guess they would be continuationists. Divine healing is an integral part of the gospel. You see that right there? You see why this, I think the cessationist issue is a big deal, is because they are trying to interweave the continuation of these gifts into the gospel message and I fear in a lot of ways that their healing and their gifts and their signs and their wonders is the gospel to them, which you can get in. I mean, you can preach a different gospel. That's why this matters, and that's why this needs to be talked about. Deliverance from sickness is provided for in the atonement. Well, that's a completely different gospel right there, and is the privilege of all believers. So, yeah, call it for what it is. Verified, 100%. These people preach a false gospel. They preach if you get sick, then you're not right with God. They preach if you get sick, you're not saved. That's who we're dealing with. New Apostolic Reformation stuff right here. This church, James River Church, believes that if you're sick, it's because you are not saved. Read the screen. Read what they say. Now, with that being said, this whole Alex Magala guy that was brought in to perform at a New Apostolic Reformation church service, a New Apostolic Reformation conference, I'm going to give you the third Adam piece of all this that you can see. Now, Alex Magala, no evidence that he's saved, plenty of evidence that he lives some sort of debaucherous lifestyle that is not in line with any regenerate, born-again person at all, not even close. Here is the man has a secret, tiny YouTube page where he makes music videos and makes like techno trance music. Here we go. I want you to see this. This is who performed there. And by the way, put your third Adam hat on as we look at this. Yikes, buddy. Yikes, but I'm going to turn the music down for copyright purposes. I'm going to put the Go Watch Third Adam here on the front of the page for copyright purposes. And there it is. He's obviously in some Eastern country and around all these Buddha statues. And guess who that's in the background back there? Take a wild guess who that is. And somebody obviously professionally filmed this video for him. There you go. Alex Magala, practicing esoteric Eastern meditation right there in front of your face, performing a half-naked dance pole routine in front of a bunch of men at a New Apostolic Reformation church in Springfield, Missouri at their conference. And Mark Driscoll was a part of this. So, guys, I don't really know what else to tell you other than go to our channel and watch Third Adam. That's really all I know how to tell you. Third Adam will change your life and show you exactly why this is an issue and show you exactly why you need to know about this kind of stuff. Guys, go ahead and smash your like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. God bless you. Have a good day.